Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we were going to be present about the effect of depression in study among Malaysian university students. Our group consists of four people, which is me, Shihan Zain bin Muhammad Matullah, Muhammad Akil Shahrul, Madam Nur Intan Shafinas binti Ahmad, and lastly Muhammad Zarif Itkan. Next, I will talk about the introduction, which is depression is a complex and debilitating mental health condition that affects millions of individuals worldwide. It is characterized by persistent feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and a loss of interest in activity that were once pleasurable. This depression not only impact an individual emotional and physical well-being, but it can also have far-reaching consequences in various aspects of life. Continue to background of study. This research focusing on depression among Malaysian university student is important for several reasons. Studying depression among Malaysian university students can shed light on the unique cultural and societal factors that may influence the manifestation and perception of depression, exploring the relationship between depression and academic performance among Malaysian university students. Next, I will talk about the objective of study. First, determine the prevalence of depression among Malaysian university students. Next, identify the risk factor associated with depression among Malaysian university students. Third, examining the impact of depression on academic performance among Malaysian university students. Fourth, explore help-seeking behavior and perceived stigma associated with depression among Malaysian university students. And lastly, to provide recommendation for intervention and support service targeted at Malaysian university students. The scope of study is to focus on examining depression among Malaysian university students. The study will involve participants from various disciplines and institutions across Malaysia, ensuring a diverse representation. So we will be move on to chapter 2, which is methodology. The description of data. A description of data identifies and organize, summarize the interesting feature that can be found within a collection of information. The next is population. The elements are subject of the study that can be used to complete a set of items that are gathered for the interest in the research are referred to as population. Next is sample. Sample is subset of the population which is individual are selected. For our survey, respondents are selected as sample. Other than that is sampling technique. The sampling technique we use is convenience sampling technique, that is non-probability sampling that involve the sample being drawn from that part of the population that is close to hand. And lastly, data collection method. There are few collection methods that are commonly used to obtain the data, which is face-to-face interview, telephone interview, mail direct and questionnaire, and direct observation. Every method has their own advantage and disadvantage. So for this topic, we are going to do e-questionnaire as our data collection method.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Shian. Now, I will be presenting about the findings. So, for the first finding from question 7, types of mental health issue. So, we have provided six answers, which is anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, don't have, and question left blank. So, the total number of students is 30. So, the chart shows that 36% is have depression, 40% have anxiety disorder, 12% bipolar disorder, and borderline personality disorder with 8%. Next, for question 8, is it caused by family problem? So the answer provided is yes, no, and question left blank. So there are 20 students answered yes, and 8 students answered no, and 2 students answered left the question blank. So based on the question and the result above, 70% answered yes, meanwhile 30% chosen no. This shows that family problems are one of the main factors for mental health issues faced by students in UiTM Pasir Gudang. So for question 16, which is feeling lonely, so the answers provided is yes, no, and question left blank. So 24 students answered yes, 4 students answered no, and 2 students left the question blank. So the chart shows 86.7% voted for yes, meanwhile 13.3% voted for no, and it unanimously made yes as the majority. Next, for question 10, student has financial problem. So the answer provided is yes, no, and question left blank. 18 students answered yes, 10 students answered no, and 2 students left the question blank. So based on the chart, the pie chart shows 60% agree with financial problems being the reason why respondents are struggling with mental health issues. Meanwhile, 40% disagree with the question given. This shows that financial problems are one of the main reasons why respondents are struggling with mental health issues. So for question 18, which is have you ever experienced a terrible of depression? So the answers provided is yes, no, and question left blank. And 19 students answered yes, 10 students answered no, 1 student left the question blank. So the pie chart above is a question about terrible of anxiety that have been faced by students in UiTM Pasir Gudang. The option given are yes and no, which to marks as a symbol of agree and disagree to the question. As it shows, 67.7% have agreed to the question and 32.3% have disagreed. This shows that majority of the students in UiTM Pasir Gudang have experienced the terrible of depression. Okay, now let's move to the conclusion. In conclusion, we have to raise the awareness of the mental health in our community as the prevalence of mental disorder has significantly increased over time. Health services should make health education for students on how they deal with stress and depression through exercise and good sleeps. Okay, lastly, for the recommendation, for those who students has depression issue, we recommend to seek to professional help and establish a support system. Lastly is practice self care for healthy future.